Welcome back to the Alternate History channel, where we unravel the threads of history to weave entirely new tapestries of what could have been. Today, we're delving into an incredibly captivating scenario, one that has intrigued scholars and enthusiasts alike. What if Attila the Hun, the scourge of God, had conquered Rome? We'll navigate through an alternate timeline replete with unexpected shifts in power, transformative events, and the monumental implications of a Rome toppled by the Huns. So sit back and join us as we explore the aftershocks of this monumental change and how it would reshape empires, civilizations, and perhaps even the world as we know it. Let's get started. The Roman Empire, once the grand epitome of military strength, governance, and civilization, had already experienced significant cracks in its foundation by the 5th century AD. The empire was bifurcated into eastern and western halves, each beset by its own set of issues. The west was particularly beleaguered. Economic turmoil, political instability, and frequent barbarian incursions had left it vulnerable. Enter Attila the Hun, a figure often dubbed as the Scourge of God. The Huns themselves were a people shrouded in myth and infamy, coming from the Eurasian steppes and wielding mastery over horseback archery. Unlike other barbarian tribes, they weren't looking to settle but to plunder. Attila, intelligent and extremely ambitious, led them with an iron fist, transforming the Huns into a war machine that could take on the once unconquerable Romans. He wasn't just a warrior, he was also a cunning diplomat who knew how to manipulate the rivalries and weaknesses among the Roman elite to his advantage. In the mid-5th century, Attila set his sights on Rome. His armies were already responsible for delivering crushing defeats to the Romans and their allies, capturing vast territories and effectively reducing the Eastern Roman Empire to a client state. Western Rome was next on his list. However, according to historical accounts, a meeting with Pope Leo I convinced Attila to turn back, sparing Rome. But what if that pivotal meeting had the opposite outcome? What if, rather than being dissuaded, Attila felt that the capture of Rome was divinely ordained? What if the Scourge of God decided to lay waste to the Eternal City and succeeded in doing so? In this alternate timeline, we assume just that. Attila the Hun not only invades but also conquers Rome, leading to far-reaching consequences that would rewrite the annals of history. Attila's victorious entry into Rome sends shockwaves through the known world. Even before this, the Roman military was underfunded and stretched thin across various fronts. But the fall of Rome itself is a psychological blow from which the empire never recovers. Many Roman legions, hearing of the capture, disband or join local warlords. The myth of Rome's invincibility is shattered, and the city itself is looted, with Attila taking the accumulated wealth of centuries back to his homeland. This newly acquired wealth allows the Huns to fortify their own territories and solidify their empire. In the Byzantine East, the loss of Rome serves as a wake-up call. Emperor Marcian redoubles efforts to fortify Constantinople and bolster its military capabilities. Additionally, the Eastern Roman Empire moves to exert its influence over the remnants of the Western Empire, presenting itself as the last beacon of Roman civilization and governance. But let's not forget the power dynamics in the Hunnic Empire. Attila, despite his victory, faces internal dissension. His newfound wealth also stokes internal divisions, as rival factions vie for control over the valuable Roman spoils. The potential for a succession crisis after Attila's eventual death becomes a looming issue. The rest of Europe also feels the tremors of this dramatic shift. The Visigoths, Vandals, and other Germanic tribes accelerate their own campaigns to fill the power vacuum left by the weakened Western Roman Empire. These tribes establish their own fledgling kingdoms on Roman soil, but these are disunited and less organized, leading to a fractured European landscape. The Church also loses its central authority with the fall of Rome, but it still plays a crucial role, as local bishops and priests become the de facto leaders of many communities. In absence of a strong central power, the spread of Christianity takes a more syncretic path, mixing with local traditions and beliefs. As centuries roll by, the world feels the lasting impact of Attila's conquest. The Huns, buoyed by their wealth and dominance, evolve from a nomadic empire to a more settled one. This change allows for a unique blend of Roman, Germanic, and Hunnic cultures. However, the Hunnic Empire faces its own set of challenges. particularly the task of administrative governance over diverse and vast territories. While it never reaches the administrative sophistication of Rome, it does create a unique blend of tribal governance and Roman bureaucracy. After Attila's death, the empire does fragment due to succession issues, but not before it leaves an indelible cultural imprint on Europe. In the absence of a centralized Roman authority, Europe evolves as a patchwork of competing kingdoms and empires. This fractured landscape lays the groundwork for feudalism, as local lords take on more prominence. The papacy, in the absence of a unifying political authority, takes on a greater international role, becoming the arbiter of conflicts and the preserver of what's left of Roman culture and Christian teachings. The Byzantine Empire, left to carry the mantle of Roman legacy, emerges as the dominant power in the Mediterranean for some time. With Rome's fall, many Roman scholars and bureaucrats flock to Constantinople, enriching the city's intellectual and cultural life. However, the empire also becomes more Eastern in orientation, further integrating Greek and Eastern Orthodox traditions. Trade routes shift dramatically. The Silk Road, instead of traversing through a unified Roman landscape, now has to navigate a far more complex web of petty kingdoms and tribal lands. This in turn brings more influence from the Far East into Europe earlier than in our timeline, including the spread of technologies like the compass and gunpowder. The absence of a Roman Empire affects the Arab conquests as well. The fragmented Western territories prove to be easier targets, causing the reach of Islam to extend deeper into Europe. This would mean a Europe that is far more religiously diverse, with Islam, Christianity, and even remnants of pagan traditions coexisting. In summary, Attila's conquest of Rome serves as a turning point, precipitating the decline of the Western Roman Empire and altering the trajectory of world history. While the Hunnic Empire itself eventually succumbs to internal divisions, its victory over Rome forever changes the cultural, religious, and political map of Europe and the Mediterranean. The world evolves as a far more fractured yet culturally diverse landscape, shaping the dynamics of power and faith for centuries to come. And there you have it, a world forever changed by Attila the Hun's conquest of Rome. From reshaped political landscapes to cultural shifts, the ripple effects will be felt for centuries to come. Yet, history is a complex web, and one change could spark an entirely new set of outcomes. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more alternate history adventures. Until next time.